Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus one more time. In my efforts to try to be able to have something that I can share with you each and every day that will kind of sway, lead, or direct you on a path that leads you to the place that you are so desperately seeking. You know, I heard somewhere someone says, money makes you feel like you're somebody. Well, there are more people without money than there are people with money. So if I'm going to speak about money to any of you, especially the masses, I better speak to the issue of how you who don't have money can still have the benefit of having money. You who don't have money and yet still have the benefit of having money. That should be an interesting conversation to anybody that's listening. But since I've talked about this in so many different times and places, I'd like to kind of break it down as I go forward. And I'd like to start with you old folk. You've gotten old now, and many of you are relying on a safety net they call Social Security to survive. You knew you were going to get old, at least after you got 40. When you were young, you didn't know whether you'd make it or not. And you didn't think it would be this complicated because you had always had a hope that the world would get better. And each year, as time passed, you saw that it really wasn't, and you were caught up in a situation where it appeared as if you couldn't do too much. Many of you were very instrumental in trying to shape your futures based upon what was available to us through our system. Many of us weren't that concerned about it. Many of our brothers and sisters went out and engaged in promiscuities and have children perhaps that they never bought a bottle of milk for, never bought a diaper for, never done anything for, and really expect to be hated for being so negligent. And some of us were just totally negligent, and there were others who committed themselves to use the pain and suffering that they themselves endured, especially that of their families, as a motivation to try to reach out to those who are holding progress back and try to see if they can wave away so they can see beyond the plastered wall that is built before them, that not just the individual but the nation of people can profit. Such a one is not liked. Is not liked by anybody, especially those who say they could have profited or they could have benefited from the old way. But that's the way it is. It works like that. But now you old people, you got a little life left, then you should use this time to stand up for what's proper, stand up for what's right. It might not benefit your children, but it might benefit your children's children or your great-grandchildren. It might do wonders for them that you stand up now, even in your old age, even though you may be feeble, but that you stand up and have purpose, take meaning in your golden years. But make sure that you're on a path that leads to something worthwhile and not the path of destruction that we've traveled all our lives. Speaking to you old people, those of you who have been able to ride above the wave, find some way to engage yourselves in the interest of all the people. All of us are needed. Then there are teenagers, our young people. Young people who I hope you had a nice home to grow up in where there were meals and you were able to go back and forth to school, and on Christmas time you got a gift. Birthday time you got a gift. You got a chance to go and visit with other members of families in other places. In other words, that you had a chance to go to vacation. I'm hoping that all of you had that kind of a life. But reality teaches us that many of us have never gone any place. Many of us suffer from meals at least 2 times a day. Oh, well, if we get it 2 times a day, we're doing good. 3, well, we don't know about that. Who don't have to live in shelters, or do. Those of us who perhaps have to live on the street corners with a pasteboard box begging every day. Well, this message is for you. It's a message of liberation. It's a message to say you that the life that you have been dealing with all your days, there's a power, there's a respect for you, there's a hunger for you that's reaching out, that's crying out for you, that wants to liberate you and let you live the life you've dreamed of living. That those of you who wants to continue your education can go to school, not having to worry about cost, how you're going to live, where you're going to live, having none of these. All you have to do is make sure that you choose a profession that you love, something that you can commit yourself to get the best training that you can possibly get, because it will engage you in being the best that you could ever be. And who benefits? The whole dead blasted world. Knowing that health care, unlimited, unrestricted, from the womb to the tomb. I'm trying to tell you about a power that loves you so much, a power that cares about you so much, that it prepared that all of these things might be met beyond any doubt, that a single soul on the face of the earth should be denied its say, unless it is the will of the people, not God. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as I think about that, as I think about the people who have families, who have the responsibility of making sure that they eat, that they have clothing, that they do have shelter, that they do have these things in the midst of all of the struggles that we have to deal with from day to day. People who are excited about a possibility of a wage that might go up to $15 an hour, when at the same time the price on everything else goes up, and it outgrows the $15 an hour wage that one might receive. And so, in the middle of all of that, the people still have choice. There is a power that says none of that, none of that. And I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have been so trained, so manipulated, and so indoctrinated by the ways that we have been exposed to in life, have been absent anything but vocalities of that which is of spirit. I stand before you today as a physical representation that there is a power that's outside of us, that all of us is a reflection of the power that's outside of us, that lives in us, that makes it a us. And what we want, we can have. But as we are having all the turmoil in the world that we live, it is a result of a certain type of expression, a certain type of living. And it will always be there. And if we want the opposite, it will be the result of a certain type of living. I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that the power that is more magnificent wants you to know that the earth and everything that's in it, on it, above it, seen or unseen, is of that power. It's not of you or I. And everything that's here on this earth has a purpose. It fits into the goods and services that the human beings decide or determine that they want to bring or make manifest in their lives. That's moved by imagination and motivation within separate individuals that cause the growth and the reaching out to cause things to be. We want all of that to happen. And the power that made us designed it in such a way, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me, every last one of you, listen to me, that every last one of us got a special thing, special to us as an individual. It might not be unique amongst us, but it's special to us, because in knowing what it is, in having the opportunity to do what it is our greatest reward. To know your purpose in life, to have the opportunity to express your purpose in life, knowing that your purpose in life has a fulfillment in the purpose of everyone else's life. So now your life has purpose. And that the world, as beautiful as it can be, is because you committed yourselves to do your thing. And out of it, all of this, you, we, all human beings on earth have a chance to live as though we are in heaven. Our peace and prosperity and joy, all of our needs for survival are met. All of our dreams and aspirations and imaginations can be over, the door just open, and all of humanity is set right there to make sure that every effort is made to benefit from all that the Spirit allows us to experience. That we become a shining light, because nobody here suffers for anything that mankind has been able to create, cause to manifest. Food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, none of that's not just all. And we're able to claim it as our own because each of us play a part in the creative process, and we're living to make sure that we can all live. We're living to make sure that we can all enjoy living. We're living to make sure that we can all experience paradise right here on the earth. That's why we're living. We're not living for money, to say that since I got the money I can live, and to hell with those of you who don't have money. That's a system that's foreign to peace. You can't have no peace there. You're going to always have hell there. And you're going to always have the biggest devil trying to run there. And the people who try to play the biggest games are the ones that's going to be suckered in and go that way. But the smart ones, the wise ones, the ones who realize that there got to be another power, and they choose to go that way, and they start to engage themselves knowing that it helps not only themselves but everybody else. It makes their life so much easier, so much merrier, so much divine. This is the way of life that I am challenging every human being on the face of the earth. I don't want you to tell me nothing about your government. I don't want you to tell me nothing about your nation and your constitution. I don't want you to tell me nothing about that man-made crap. I'm saying to you that the peace that you say you want, the prosperity that you say you want, the joy of life that you say you want, the fact that you want your dreams to come true comes because you start putting your faith in something that you can't see. And you commit yourself to become an instrument of that you can't see, so that that can be seen in what you are doing. And all of what you're doing is committed to the same power that you can't see. Not to me, to you, it's to the power that you can't see. And the power that you can't see already got it aligned, so that when we are doing that, everything that we individually do is all connected to that which we seek it. That which we need, we want, and we desire is already designed that. It's a finished product by us just treating each other like we want to be treated. Now, do I need to say more? I'm going to stop right there, because I want you to know that money might make you feel like you're somebody. But if you change and go back to the right way of living, not only you, but everybody else will know that they, each of them, and all of them are what? Somebody. And money can't buy that. Bye-bye.